All right. Let's work on this. All right.
Pizza coming in 15 minutes.
That's awesome. Okay. So we have our. Oh, I didn't copy this type chance down to this one. So now we need to determine our types. Are the chance for weapons to spawn, handguns, food, drink, etc. This is gonna be fun moving again. So let's start with junk. So junk is the 6th item. Oh no, we're starting from the top. Weapons. Give them like a 1% chance to spawn weapons. I'm not copying that over everything. I'm just gonna. Handguns will give you a 2% chance. Food.
90%.
Oh, we're on food right now, dude.
Food. 10.
10. Drink, 10. What do you want?
Or 5 split numbers.
Alright, yeah. Medical, 3.
Yeah.
Junk, 10.
15.
15. Alright.
Surrounded after we have it.
Alright. And then we're on to backpacks.
3.
I was thinking 3.
Yeah.
Uniform we'll put at 4. Vests we'll put at 3. Helmets we'll put at 5. Or no, helmets specifically, because normal hats won't be in the helmet config. They'll be in the cosmetic config. So we'll put helmets at 2. And we'll put cosmetics at 10. Or not 10, we'll do 8. General items, we'll put that at 10. Construction, we'll put that at 8. Or no, because we're gonna need to boost a couple more of these. Books, we'll put at 2. Electronics, we'll put it. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, let me. Drink. Alright, moving on. This is gonna be embarrassing. How do you spell helmet?
Helmet.
M-E-T?
Let me just Google that. Yeah,
E-T, okay. So I spelled it right then. Cosmetics. Okay. So now we have to actually make these percents make sense. So,
Make them equal 100, yeah.
well, not only make them equal 100, make them make sense, because I have construction items at 8% and food at 5%. I have uniforms as common as food.
I think weapons should be a bit higher than 1.
So you think like
2, 3...
we'll do 5. We'll try to keep them even numbers of 5. So we'll start with 5 for weapons, 5 for handguns, 10 for food, and then we'll edit them up and down. 10 for drink, 10 for medical, 15 for junk, 5 for backpack, 5 for uniform, 5 for vest, 5 for helmets, 5 for cosmetics, 10 for general, 5 for construction, 5 for books, 5 for electronics, and 5 for mechanical. Now we move them up and down. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. We're at 100% right now. So we have to move things up and down. So let's start with this. Handguns versus weapons. Which one should be more common?
Handguns, right? 'Cause weapons
By
can be
what
anything.
percent? So like 3 for weapons, 8 for handguns?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, food and drink. Which one should be more common?
They should be even, I think.
Okay, they should be equal.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's do general items, or no, let's do cosmetics and helmets. And uniforms, vests, backpacks, etc. So we'll say backpacks less common than uniform and vests. Actually, let's make backpacks less common than weapons too, because, well,
Yeah.
and we can always play with this in a bit.
Backpack should be really low, I think. Only want one of them. You don't want to find like 10 of them in a city, right?
Yeah. So backpacks are at 2%. I put uniforms to 6%. Vests are at 5%. Helmets are at 4%, and cosmetics are at 10%. I mean 8%.
Okay. Those are total.
Yeah, it's still at 100%. Construction versus books. So building parts versus books.
Books should be rarer because they're like your plans to making a house and
Rarer than weapons.
player data saves. Yeah. Player data saved through death. What you've learned.
Should they be
Right.
rarer than backpacks?
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll be at 1%, and we'll move. So now we have 4% to play around with. So
A book to me should be something that you want to find and you're really happy to find, right?
yeah. So now we have 4% to play around with. We have mechanical, so car parts at 5%, electronics at 5%, construction at 5%, and those are all equivalent to vests at 5%. So we can move that 4% over to like drinks and food, so they're not as common as medical items, and just distribute them evenly to that, and then continue to play around. I'm gonna do that. So food and drink are up to 12% now. So books, so we have construction at 5% and electronics at 5%. So, what are you thinking?
Books needs to be below 5, I think.
Books are at 1%, I'm sorry.
1, okay.
Books are at 1%. They need to be below 1?
No, 1.
Because right now, weapons are about 3 times more likely to spawn than a book.
Leave it as 1 for now, and then we will see.
We'll see how common it is. So,
Any can we play with? Like, how many do we need now?
we don't have any more to play with. Now we have to move some more around.
Okay.
So, I'm going to read off the whole line, and you can tell me what you think needs moved up or down. So, weapons are at 3%. Handguns are at 8%. Foods at 12%. Drinks at 12%. Medical items are at 10%. junk is at 15%, backpacks are at 2%, uniforms are at 6%, vests are at 5%, helmets are at 4%, cosmetics are at 8%, general items are at 10%, construction is at 5%, books are at 1%, electronics are at 5%, mechanical is at 5%.
They all look pretty good, but maybe cosmetics could go up a bit more, and then take it off of food and drink. I don't know.
I'm going to take it off handguns, because right now handguns are more common than uniforms.
Alright, yeah.
So I'm going to take 2 points off handguns, and I'm going to throw cosmetics up to 10%.
That's good.
Okay, so... And then I'm going to not include a description on these for people editing the config. Instead, I'm gonna put a link to a wiki page that describes in detail on how to edit this, because that's going to be needed. Because this is just a lot of information. Okay. So I'm going to copy these chances over to everything, and then after we get items spawning, then we'll play around with the percents of different types of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could just double check my math, I'm pretty sure that equals 100%. So we have 9 to 15 to 30 to 40, 64, 65. I might actually be missing a few. 90. I might be sitting at 97, 98 or something like that.
I'm getting 106.
Really? I might be up 6% then. Let me see. 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 12 plus 10 plus 15 plus 2 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 10. I thought I had that rogue 6 sitting in there. I got 111.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I missed off a 5 on the end. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we're up 11 points. So where do you want to strip them from?
Food and drink.
Food and drink, so we'll take 4 off.
4 of each.
Yeah, no, we're not going to take 4 off each. We'll bring them down to 10%. So now we're sitting at 111 minus 4, which is 107. So, now let's strip the 6% on uniforms. I'm going to bring that down to 5%, and we'll lower vests down to 3%. So that brings us down to 5 over our limit. So then that 10% chance on cosmetics in general, I'm going to take 3 off of general and 2 off cosmetics. And then now we should be sitting at 100. You want to check my math on these new numbers?
Yep, doing.
This is why we check math.
99.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I swear to God, I stripped too much off. Really? 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 15 plus 2 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 5. It's yeah.
Messed up, or did you get 99?
I got 99. Alright, we'll bring cosmetics back up to 8 then. And then now I know for 100% fact that we're sitting at 100. So. Okay, so minimum, and then we need our limits. So, limits. So,
Wow, my order is 4 minutes late. What is this right now?
oh my God, 4 minutes. Okay. Magazines, gear, clothing, backpacks. See, I'm not doing a limit for everything. So max backpacks, 1. Max handguns, 1. Max books, 1. What else? Okay. Okay, so these are all the item types that I have limits on. So every pile will spawn no more than whatever number is defined in these. So, and the ones that aren't defined have no limit. The acoustic version of the song is pretty good.
Take it back just for one night. Take all the wrongs and pretend that we're alright. Feel the rhythm in our souls, let them entwine. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you know what you do to me. It's not fair, I don't care. Take you there, make you mine before we're out of
food is still not here. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What?
Website says they've delivered it, but they haven't. Hold on. I've gone to the wrong house.
You there, moving on? You there, bud? He's not there. Alright. So. Another good song. So. So we need this kind of thing. But for, instead of locations for vehicles, we need we need loop positions. So that's gonna take hours of boring work, so I'm not gonna stream when I do that. But so the loop manager I wrote for Urban Warfare doesn't actually do any of the parsing. I have to find where I wrote the parsing, and I modified it recently. Well, not recently, but towards the completion of the project. I modified it and moved parsing to another file. Init server. Server setup, right? So it's all in the server setup. Yeah, this was how I did the parsing, or the generalized parsing, I should say. Server start would start the loop manager from that, and then there, that loop manager would end up going to the spawn loop function, which did even more parsing. So instead, I'm putting all the parsing, instead of doing it that way, which is a little bit more complicated. You have all the building positions, Nixon? Dude, that'd be awesome. Or if you can do them, that would be awesome. Because that's a pain. I hated doing the vehicle positions. That took me at least a whole day to do right. So yeah, that would be a big help. And it really doesn't matter, as long as they're laid out in a similar fashion where I can get all the locations inside the building where the loot spawn, and it's defined by the building type there. And they're all separated out into separate categories: military, civilian, industrial. Because I have them separated like this in my Urban Warfare, which I feel is just absolutely awful. I have the building type, I have the array that contains really, Nixon, all you need to do is the Tanoa ones for now, and then we can move on to the Arma 3 ones, or I could I could just parse these ones in, because these are all the Tanoa and Stratus, not Tanoa, god, Altus and Stratus ones. So yeah, these are all the Altus and Stratus ones, so I can just reformat these with whatever format we come up with. But I would like doing it similar to the way I did the vehicle spawns, where we have like class military buildings, right? And then it would be class building type. And then in here we have like loot, or how about like positions. And then in that positions array you have 0, 0, 0. So just lay it out like that. So that's really easy for me to do, because in the loop manager I already have all the building types. Then all I would do is say, okay, for each building type look for the class for military buildings, iterate through all its entries, and store all the building types with their positions in an array similar to how I did it with my loop manager parser. How I did positions, pushback, buildings, pushback.
User entered your channel.
Hey, it's Ben. What's up, Ben?
I was just watching you doing the loop.
Yeah. Okay. So those are tabs. Those are tabs. Sick.
Anybody come in to watch?
Yeah, there's been
I
a
got
few.
one like. I got one like on Twitter, and that was it.
Yeah, the view, it's been up and down. There was 5 at one point.
Nice.
Yeah, development streams normally aren't the popular viewing of people, so it doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I thought it'd be something that some people like to
Yeah.
see that work's getting done.
Did you see I set up, I don't think you were here when I sent that. On the GitHub, I set up a little wiki thing. Moving Gun said we were going to do an actual wiki eventually and just put it on the website. So,
That's so funny because last night I looked up how to set a wiki up, and I'll probably get it started tomorrow night, but I'll start adding in as much stuff as I can and put as much information up.
mhm.
I think I'll set it up to where it's a wiki for the mod, but I'll also have information for all the asset packs too.
Okay. Alright.
And so I'll get as many screenshots as I can. I'll set it up a lot like Bohemia has theirs set up.
That's exactly what I was thinking of doing. That'll be good.
That'll be easier documentation than trying to put something in with the asset packs.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot better to explain how this loot setup in the config is on a wiki. So I could just link the wiki page and say, if you want to edit this, read the wiki here, and it will walk you through how to do it. And then I can go into detail in the wiki on how to edit the loot, vehicle spawn, stuff like that.
Yeah. And then it'll be a good place for people to come and get class names and information for stuff like that too.
So, alright, so we need to say in our config, vehicle spawn configuration. Okay. So I added a config entry for the number of vehicles now, so that will be good. Now if servers wanted to do 1,000,000 vehicles, they can. Throw a couple zeros onto the end of that.
Nice. Yeah, and then we'll need to when we get some time, fix the vehicle spawn.
Yeah, the
We
ones.
can cut those- Yeah, we can cut those back from 1,000 to more realistic.
Well, even so, we can just edit this number and cut them back. I was thinking about doing the spawn position editing, so we don't get those bugged spawns by the docks. But yeah, we can just go into the config. Say you only want 400 vehicles. I can just edit that right now. It's done. Yep. So that's done. So we do need to do the dev poll about the what loot type system we want, because there's multiple different ways to do it, and each has their pros and cons. So I'm just gonna write up the file. Pros and cons. So
Yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday. How are we gonna want to do this? Are we gonna want to spawn loot in items? Are we gonna want to spawn it on shelves and whatnot? Or are we just gonna want to do like Exile, where it's just kind of there in the ground when you walk in the building?
that's not really what I was talking about, but I would prefer it just being on the ground. It gives a little bit more of the DayZ throwback feel, and it doesn't make it feel like they're playing like Breaking Point, for example, which does little loot barrels and stuff like that. And either way, it doesn't boost performance to do barrels or anything like that unless you only have one barrel per building, which I don't think would be. It's kind of cool being able to walk through a building to look for loot instead of walk into the building and be like, find the barrel and get all the loot you need and go. That's my idea on it. So spawns loot in the nearest building to your player only. So positives, it reduces the number. Does not reduces the number of loot piles spawned at a given time, and prevents people from entering / leaving a city to get over and over to get new loot. Performance boost. Performance booster. What's another positive of it?
that's what I meant to ask. Are we doing dynamic loot, or are we gonna do static loot that spawns at the restart?
That's gonna be one of the polling options I'm gonna make. So I'm gonna give us like 4 or 5 different methods of loot types, and I'll have everyone throw votes in, and they'll have ones that have despawning and respawning loot, and ones that don't. And I'm providing the positive and negatives of all of the different methods.
Cause we were made for this. You and me, we're gonna fly away. But we're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna journey to the light. We're gonna make it through the night.
Oh my god, it's finally here. I'm here?
Yeah, I'm here for another couple minutes. I'm working the Creek Festival here in Santa Cruz, so it's almost all day for 3 days.
Alright. That's pretty cool.
See my progress on the management tool thing.
Yeah, I saw that. So I just trying to scarf down some Lucumates and get back on shift.
Pizza was worth the wait, it's pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie.
Alright, go back to work. I'll be on later.
Have fun.
User disconnected from your channel.
Hey,
Hey.
so I'm gonna do that poll on the website real quick. In the devs forum. Let me lay out this thread so it is a bit more beautiful. We'll just put bullets. Okay. I'm gonna push this up to GitHub. Loot update number 1. Started adding loot. Added. Beginning of loot system. Added vehicle count config option. Added spawn sys loot spawn toggle config option. Commit to master. Sync. Failed to sync branch.
Rip GitHub.
Fucking GitHub, dude. It successfully committed, so it's not like there's a file size issue. Gets stuck like a third of the way in. Debug the state of this repo. Oh my god. Is GitHub offline? No, GitHub's up. Commits. None of my things have.
My programming friend's telling me This one's a lot better than GitHub.
GitLab. There's a ton of different alternatives. After Lego Dev updated 8 days ago with the SQL fixed it's not letting me sync to GitHub anymore. All my changes in the last 2 days I can't sync up.
Right?
Yeah, and I can't sync them because after I did the Redux update 0.10, right? And I removed all of Sanchez's work. Lego Dev committed something and I didn't realize it, and so now it won't let me pull down his because GitHub is built just absolutely shittily, it won't let me pull down his commit. And so it's trying to push my commit, but his commit's in the way. And so because of that, it's not letting me do anything. I'm stuck. And if I fucking hate GitHub, dude. Back everything up. I'm not putting it in a RAR file. We're moving it to a separate folder. New folder temp. And then I'm gonna have to delete the GitHub off of my system, pull it back down, and then redo both my commits. Okay. So this is what I did. So I Redux loot update number 1 and bleeding update. About loot and bleeding update. That's what we'll call it. Added functionality to enabled config option. Added ds func stop bleeding. Added beginning of loot system. Added vehicle count config option. Added loot spawn toggle config option. Those are all my changes. So now remove. Browse libraries, Redux dev. Delete. Continue. Reclone it all. And I have to copy my work back in.
But because he committed.
Because he committed and I didn't. Because he committed and I did not sync before I threw up my commit, I had to delete all of my GitHub on my computer to fix it.
Stupid.
Well, failed to clone repository. Open debug log. What the fuck is happening? Key not found exception? Are you... It says failed to clone it, but I have all the files. Are you fucking kidding me? Clone this, clone... This PC, E... New folder Arma development. That's what we'll have to call it. Arma development. We'll try putting it in a different folder then. Create a branch and merge it with the master if you sync it with what's on GitHub. If this breaks again, I'm going to do that, and I have a feeling it's going to break again. Yeah, I'm still getting this error.
We're just copying it over, isn't it? So what does it matter?
No, whenever I try to get the files off of the GitHub, it's throwing this error. Given key was not present in the directory. Exception. That's eradication.
What does that mean?
That was on 9.10. These are it. I don't know because I don't like GitHub. I've never had a fun time using GitHub. GitHub.
Yeah, I put something in chat.
I know. I read. He says create a branch and merge it with the master after you sync it with what's on GitHub. I know what he's trying to say, but I already have fucked up because I can't re-pull what's on GitHub. I can't access it. Retrieving objects. Release. I'm gonna restart the whole fucking program. Because look, it's downloading the files. All the files are here. It's just fucking up. Restart the fucking software, see if that fixes it. Clone. Desolation Redux. E/Armadev. It's gonna break again. It shouldn't lock up like this.
Maybe bouncing that.
At 425, this is the files. There wasn't even an error that happened. Why is this? It's because I clicked on that repository. Okay, here we are actually. I was looking at the wrong thing. Restarted my PC and it worked again. Does not really answer the question.
Running it at that man.
That's probably, you're probably right about that. Let me try running as admin. Although it should run everything as admin, but we'll see. I just tried opening GitHub as admin and nothing opened. Run as administrator. Nothing happens.
Well,
About to just do it all through the Git shell. My fucking god. Properties. Details. General, actually. Doesn't show where the shortcut points to? The fuck?
that's not a shortcut, is it? It's not a normal shortcut file.
It's from the start menu. If you put anything on the start menu, you should be able to just go to properties to see the file location. Or what it points to. But
I use a custom start bar.
dude, Windows 10 is so fucking dumb. Why are all the start menu options literally inside a separate folder as shortcuts? It wasn't like this on Windows 7.
That's why I have my own
C,
start bar.
Programs 86. Not there. Let's try. There's no GitHub. Where the fuck did I install GitHub to?
GitHub just stays in your app layer. That'd be fine.
It is in your fucking app data. Or at least that's what it looks like. GitHub. GitHub. But this isn't... It's an application reference that you can't run it as admin because it's a short... What the fuck?
Has to be in EXE somewhere.
Yeah, it would have to be. I would think so. Here's portable Git.
Let me install that on my computer and have a look. Hold on. What am I downloading exactly?
GitHub's desktop file. Down, I think it's like desktop.github.com. Yeah, it is.
Downloading at about 2 kilobytes a second. Okay, go to that link. You know when you right clicked it and link to another shortcut? Go to there.
Yeah. Properties.
Right click that shortcut. Because that was a real shortcut.
It's not. It's still pulling from the file and app data from Internet Explorer Quick Launch User Pinned Taskbar. It's literally an app data folder for all the items on your taskbar too.
GitHub like a virus.
Doesn't want to fucking work, I'll tell you that much.
What? Can it hide itself so well?
Here, let me just try putting it inside the GitHub folder in my documents. I swear to God, if this fucking works, I'm going to kill myself. If it's just that drive. Because it worked perfectly fine the first time I did it. S-
Every chance I take, it leads me nowhere. I was always a fool for those who make
Did GitHub update to require CGI, CY, Cygwin, whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it as, CYG win? Yeah, I'm just gonna re-download Cygwin and see if that fixes it. Even though I actually don't have it, so, and I never needed it before.
Is there only Ben that can add me to the GitHub?
Yeah.
Files are like a kilobyte a second.
I don't know, dude, you wanna help me pick a website? Let's use... We're gonna use calvin.edu. There we go. Oh, nice, I get to select packages. We're just gonna say next. Next. I don't know what it's actually doing, so I just hope it doesn't install any bloatware. Damn, it's really filling up my disk space.
It looks like we're installing a web server. Got like PHP in that in the packages.
I don't know what it's doing. All I know is this is what's causing the error with GitHub. So, or at least that's what GitHub says is causing the error. I assume there was an update with the GitHub and it broke it. The software updated.
Switch to GitLab.
Jay, it's gonna use to know at first, then we're gonna come out with our own map. I don't care for icons. Next. Okay, let's try now. Clone. Desolation Redux. We're gonna put it in the folder I want to put it in, which is this one. Yeah, I like to know too, Jay. Nope, I still got the error. Open Git shell. Incompatible versions.
How about you just uninstall the GitHub software and then reinstall it? Maybe there's an update that will fix it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart my PC. Okay, well, I guess that means the stream's over for now. So just gonna do something, but I forgot what I was gonna. Oh yes, I'm going into here and I'm deleting this. So yeah, I'm done streaming.